Charles has finally done it.
The Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Those titles are living on borrowed time. King Charles is facing the biggest decision of his reign, and all signs point to him finally pulling the trigger. Here's what we know. Meghan's name appeared in business filings using her Duchess title, the same title she promised the late Queen she'd never commercialize. Prince William has been pushing his father behind closed doors. Palace insiders say his message is clear. The Sussex circus ends now, or the monarchy pays the price. Parliament has draft legislation ready. Public opinion has shifted. And in Montecito, Harry and Meghan are about to discover that royal patience has limits.
So Harry and Meghan are just going along thinking, we can do whatever we want.
This isn't speculation anymore. The pieces are in place. The pressure is mounting. And the question isn't if Charles will strip their titles, it's when. Let me show you exactly why this is inevitable. And if you think Harry and Meghan will keep their Duke and Duchess titles forever, the evidence says otherwise. Royal experts are calling it the Sussex endgame, the moment when King Charles finally draws the line between being a father and being a king. But here's what nobody's connecting. This isn't about one interview or one Netflix series. Palace sources point to a pattern. Broken promises, commercial exploitation, and a calculated strategy to profit from royal titles while trashing the institution that gave them. Smash that like button, because what I'm about to break down is how Meghan's business moves, William's behind-the-scenes campaign, and Parliament's growing impatience have created the perfect storm. And if you don't subscribe before this video ends, you'll miss the moment when everything Harry and Meghan built comes crashing down. The clock is ticking. Let's break it down. Let's start with the bombshell that changed everything. Public records show Meghan's name listed in business filings as Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, not as Meghan Markle, not as a private citizen, but with her royal title front and center. Now here's why that matters. When Harry and Meghan stepped back from royal duties in 2020, they made a deal with Queen Elizabeth. They could keep their titles, but they agreed never to use them for commercial gain. That was the line in the sand. The late Queen was crystal clear. You want financial independence? Fine. But the royal titles stay separate from business ventures. For years, Meghan seemed to respect that boundary. She was careful, strategic. Her public branding avoided directly commercializing the Duchess title. But then those business filings surfaced, and royal watchers immediately spotted the problem. Constitutional experts called it a direct violation of the 2020 agreement. Royal commentators described it as crossing the one line the Queen had drawn. Think about what that means. Queen Elizabeth negotiated in good faith. She allowed them to keep their titles as a gesture of family unity, trusting they'd honor the boundaries. And now, evidence suggests that trust was broken. For Prince William, watching this unfold, the message was clear. If they won't respect boundaries with grandmother's legacy, they'll never respect boundaries with anything. And that's when he started pushing his father to act. Behind palace walls, Prince William has been waging a quiet but determined campaign. Sources close to the future king describe months of private conversations with his father. The message: the monarchy's credibility is eroding with every Sussex headline. Here's William's argument. According to those familiar with his thinking, every time Harry and Meghan give an interview criticizing the royal family while still using their titles, it creates a contradiction the public can't ignore. They're benefiting from the institution they're attacking. William sees the damage in real time. Polling data shows public trust in the monarchy fluctuating with each Sussex controversy. Younger generations questioning whether the institution matters anymore. And William knows something his father is still learning. You can't be sentimental about protecting the crown. Being king means making decisions that hurt personally but protect institutionally. Palace insiders describe one particularly heated conversation where William made his case bluntly. The gist: you can't be king and be afraid of upsetting people who already abandoned the family. Think about that for a second. William isn't asking his father to punish his brother. He's asking him to protect an institution that's bigger than any one family relationship. Because William is preparing to inherit the throne, and he refuses to inherit a weakened, wounded monarchy because his father was too conflict-averse to make hard choices. The question is whether Charles will listen before it's too late. But William isn't the only one applying pressure. Here's the part most people don't know. Parliament is getting involved. Multiple MPs have discussed legislation to strip royal titles from non-working royals. The targets are clear: Prince Andrew, Prince Harry, and Meghan Markle. The public sentiment driving this is straightforward. Why should people who don't represent the crown keep titles that carry weight and prestige? Why should taxpayers fund an institution that allows its members to profit from royal status while contributing nothing back? Constitutional scholars point out that Parliament has the authority to act. Titles can be removed through legislative process. It's been done before in British history. And here's the nightmare scenario keeping Charles up at night. If Parliament moves first, it becomes a political scandal. It would signal that the monarchy lost control of its own house, that elected officials had to step in because the king couldn't manage his family. That's not just embarrassing, that's existentially threatening to royal authority. Royal experts say Charles understands the stakes. He can act now on his own terms, maintaining the appearance of control. Or he can wait for Parliament to force his hand and look weak in the process. The smart money says Charles acts first, because the alternative is watching his authority get undermined by politicians. The pieces are all in place. The pressure is building, and the timeline is getting shorter. Now, let's talk about what Harry and Meghan stand to lose. Their entire post-royal business strategy was built on one asset: the titles, the Netflix deal, the Spotify contract, the speaking engagements, the brand partnerships. All of it was pitched with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex providing royal credibility. Industry insiders confirm what we all suspected. Meghan Markle, former actress, doesn't command the same attention or fees as Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. That title opened doors. It justified premium pricing. It created the mystique that made them marketable. Look at the speaking circuit. Reports indicate Harry and Meghan command six-figure fees per appearance, but entertainment lawyers point out those fees are directly tied to their royal connection. Remove the titles, and the market value changes overnight. The same goes for their production deals. Netflix didn't sign two Hollywood creatives. They signed the Duke and Duchess of Sussex with unprecedented access to royal stories and insider perspectives. Strip the titles, and that value proposition fundamentally changes. Royal commentators predict a cascading effect. Without the titles, media interest drops. Without media interest, brand partnerships decline. Without partnerships, the California lifestyle becomes harder to sustain. Think about the pressure that creates. Harry and Meghan have built a very expensive life in Montecito. Security costs alone run into millions annually. The mortgage, the staff, the lifestyle they've become accustomed to. All of it funded by leveraging royal prestige. If those titles disappear, the entire economic model collapses. And here's the thing, King Charles knows this. William knows this. That's exactly why removing the titles would be so effective. It's not about punishment. It's about removing the ability to monetize something you're no longer entitled to represent. Here's what's changed in the last year. Public opinion. Recent polling data tells a story royal watchers can't ignore. British public support for Harry and Meghan has dropped significantly. The sympathy they had after leaving royal life has largely evaporated. Even in America, where they initially found refuge and support, the enthusiasm is cooling. Entertainment industry observers note declining media interest. Magazine covers don't sell like they used to. TV interviews don't generate the same buzz. Royal experts point to a fundamental shift in the narrative. The public initially saw Harry and Meghan as victims of an outdated institution. Now many see them as celebrities who want it both ways, criticizing the monarchy while profiting from it. That perception change matters enormously, because when Charles finally acts, he needs public support. He needs the decision to be seen as justified, not vindictive. And right now, the polling suggests he has that support. A majority of Britons believe non-working royals shouldn't keep titles. Even larger percentages say those who criticize the monarchy shouldn't benefit from it. That's political cover. That's the green light Charles has been waiting for. Constitutional historians note that monarchs are always sensitive to public opinion. They can't afford to be seen as petty or cruel, but they also can't afford to look weak. The current public sentiment gives Charles permission to act decisively without fear of backlash. The window is open, and it won't stay open forever. So let's game out what actually happens when King Charles finally pulls the trigger. First, the official announcement. It would likely come through a simple update to the royal website and an understated palace statement. No drama, no explanation, just a matter-of-fact notification that the titles have been removed. Harry and Meghan would become simply Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Or depending on how far Charles goes, just Harry and Meghan Windsor. The HRH status, His Royal Highness and Her Royal Highness, would be gone. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex titles would revert back to the crown. Royal protocol experts describe what follows: a quiet but devastating erasure from official royal life. Their names would be removed from the royal family website's main pages. they'd no longer be listed as working members of the family. Their charitable patronages connected to royal status would need to be reassessed, but the real damage comes in California. Entertainment industry analysts predict immediate brand impact. Every contract, every deal, every partnership would need to be renegotiated without the royal angle. Netflix would reassess the value of their production deal. Speaking bureaus would adjust their fees. Brand partnerships would reconsider their terms. Some contracts might even include clauses allowing companies to renegotiate if royal status changes. Legal experts suggest this is common in celebrity agreements where status is part of the value proposition. And here's the brutal part. Meghan would face an identity crisis. For 5 years, she's been the Duchess. That's how she's introduced. That's how she's marketed. That's the foundation of her post-royal brand. Without it, she's back to being Meghan Markle. And the industry treats former actresses very differently than it treats royalty. Harry faces something even more painful. Those titles weren't just branding for him, they were his birthright, his identity since childhood. Losing them wouldn't just be a business setback, it would be an existential loss of who he thought he was. And that's exactly why Charles doing this would be so devastating. So here's why royal experts say Charles needs to act now, not later. First, the legal pressure. Parliament's patience is running out. Every month Charles delays is another month closer to legislators forcing his hand. Better to act proactively than reactively. Second, the William factor. The future king is watching. How Charles handles this situation sets precedent for William's eventual reign. If Charles is too weak to protect the institution now, it signals weakness for the future. Third, the precedent problem. Every day Harry and Meghan keep their titles while commercializing them, they establish a pattern. Other royals might think they can do the same. The boundaries need to be enforced or they cease to exist. Fourth, the institution's credibility. The monarchy's approval ratings are tied to how effectively it's managed. A king who can't control his own family's use of royal titles looks ineffective. And fifth, the economic reality. Harry and Meghan are building increasingly expensive lifestyles funded by royal association. The longer Charles waits, the harder the fall will be when it finally happens. Constitutional experts argue there's a case for decisive action. Not vindictive, not emotional, just clear boundaries enforced. Royal titles carry responsibilities. If you're not willing to fulfill those responsibilities, you shouldn't carry the titles. It's that simple. And the evidence suggests Charles is finally reaching that conclusion. The conversations with William are happening. The legal groundwork is being laid. The public opinion is supportive. All that's left is for Charles to make the call. And signs point to that call coming sooner rather than later. Let's connect everything we've just laid out. Meghan's business filings show use of her Duchess title, contradicting the agreement made with Queen Elizabeth. Prince William has been pushing his father for months, warning that the monarchy's credibility is at stake. Parliament has legislation ready to go, threatening to turn family drama into political scandal. Public opinion has shifted dramatically. British voters support removing titles from non-working royals. Even American enthusiasm for the Sussexes is fading. Harry and Meghan's entire business model is built on royal prestige. Netflix deals, speaking fees, brand partnerships, all tied to those Duke and Duchess titles. Remove them, and the economic foundation collapses. See the pattern? They wanted to leave royal life, but keep royal benefits. They wanted to criticize the institution, but profit from its prestige. They wanted freedom without consequences. But King Charles is facing a decision that every king eventually faces. Choose between family sentiment and institutional survival, and all signs point to him choosing the institution. Because that's what kings do. They protect the crown, even when it costs them personally. For Harry and Meghan, the titles aren't just business assets. Their identity, their relevance, they're everything their post-royal life is built on, and those titles are living on borrowed time. The only question left is when Charles finally makes it official. Not if, when. So, GossipSlice fam, there you have it. The case for why King Charles should strip Harry and Meghan's royal titles, and why all signs point to it happening sooner than anyone thinks. Real talk. Do you think Charles should act now? Or is he right to wait and try to heal the family first? Drop a crown emoji in the comments if you think the titles should go immediately. Drop a heart emoji if you think Charles should prioritize family over institution. Drop a clock emoji if you think it's only a matter of time regardless. Like this video, smash subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss when we break down what's really happening behind palace walls. This is GossipSlice, where we serve the truth one slice at a time. peace.